moment we open our eyes to the world, we find ourselves wrapped in a system that promises happiness in exchange for possessions. We are taught that success is measured by the number of things we accumulate, that our worth is tied to what we own, and that if we follow the established path, study, work, consume, we will find satisfaction. However, this path, far from leading us to fulfillment, drags us into an endless race where the goal always seems to drift further away. Consumption has become the center of our lives in such a subtle way that we rarely stop to question it. We accept it as a natural fact, as if it were the only way to exist in the modern world. Cities are designed for it. Advertising surrounds us in every space, constantly reminding us of what we lack. Even entertainment has turned into yet another tool to perpetuate the idea that there is always something new to desire. The message is clear. You are not enough, but you could be if you acquire the right product. This cycle of desire and fleeting satisfaction creates a bizarre paradox. The more we get, the less we value what we have. The pleasure of a purchase is intense but brief, fading almost as quickly as it arrives. And so, we are compelled to repeat the process again and again, convinced that the next acquisition will finally make us feel complete. But it doesn't. There is always a new model, an upgraded version, a trend that promises to change our lives. And in the pursuit of that promise, we sacrifice something invaluable: our time. Most people spend the majority of their lives working to afford a lifestyle they can barely enjoy. The workday consumes their days, leaving only a few tired hours at the end to distract themselves before repeating the routine the next day. Weekends become a brief pause where people try to make up for the exhaustion with more consumption. Outings, shopping, fleeting entertainment, all in an attempt to fill a void that never quite disappears. Alan Watts described this as a kind of game where the rules are designed so we can never win. We're told that financial stability is the goal, but as soon as we reach it, a new standard appears that we must meet. If having a house used to be enough, now we need a bigger one. If a car was once sufficient, now it has to be a more luxurious one. The same goes for clothes, technology, even the image we project on social media. The feeling of achievement is fleeting because the system needs us to keep running, to never stop and ask ourselves if we truly want what we're chasing. The problem isn't money itself, nor the act of buying things. Having comforts isn't wrong, and enjoying certain luxuries doesn't mean being alienated. The trap lies in the illusion that all of this can fill the existential void many feel. But that void cannot be filled with more objects because its origin doesn't lie in the lack of material goods, but in the disconnection from something deeper. In the past, the relationship with possessions was different. Things had value beyond their price. They were made with care, they were taken care of, and they were passed down. They weren't just products for fast consumption, but companions in daily life. Nowadays, planned obsolescence has turned almost everything into disposable goods. Clothes last just a few seasons. Electronic devices stop working in a few years. Furniture is no longer built to withstand the passage of time. This not only affects personal finances, but also shapes how we relate to the world. If everything is replaceable, if nothing is permanent, it's easy to lose the sense of connection with the material. But this disconnection doesn't stop at objects. It extends to how we experience reality. In a world where everything is obtained instantly, patience becomes unnecessary. Pleasure is a click away. Instant gratification has become the norm. This has led to a progressive loss of the ability to enjoy things slowly, to find meaning in what is not immediate or superficial. The result is a lifestyle where abundance is confused with fulfillment, where we chase more without stopping to reflect on whether we truly need it. And in the process, the essential is pushed to the background. Time with family is sacrificed to work more. Creativity is set aside to fit what the market demands. The ability to be present is lost because there's always something new to reach for. It's no coincidence that dissatisfaction is a constant in modern society. Despite all the technological advances that surround us, the access to more goods and services than ever before in history, anxiety and depression are on the rise. People have more things, but they feel emptier. This is a clear sign that the problem is not in what we lack, but in how we've learned to relate to what we have. To escape this trap, we must first see it clearly. Understand that the system we live in is not designed for us to find satisfaction, but for us to keep chasing it endlessly. Only by becoming aware of this reality can we begin to rethink our priorities, to rediscover a way of living where the value of things doesn't depend on their novelty or price, but on the relationship we build with them. If observing the consumer system we're immersed in helps us understand its trap, there's another deeper level that often goes unnoticed: the way this model has distorted our relationship with matter. Ironically, the culture of excessive consumption hasn't made us true materialists, but something very different. To truly appreciate matter requires a bond with objects that goes beyond mere possession. It means recognizing the essence of things, valuing their permanence, and experiencing a connection with a physical world that rapid consumption has almost entirely eroded. In many traditional cultures, objects had a story. Every tool, every garment, every piece of furniture carried with it the time and dedication of those who had created it. There was a relationship between the person and their environment that gave meaning to the material. Today, that connection has largely been lost. What surrounds us no longer has soul, because it has been mass-produced without identity, without history. An object is nothing more than a product, something to be replaced without thought when it stops being useful or when a new version appears on the market. This way of relating to matter has made it so that, paradoxically, we live surrounded by things without any of them having real meaning. The speed at which products are made and discarded has created a world where matter has become ephemeral. Clothes are bought without considering their durability. Electronic devices are designed to become obsolete quickly. Furniture is assembled with low-quality materials that won't stand the test of time. In this context, objects stop being companions in a person's life and become mere disposable goods. When everything is replaceable, when nothing is permanent, the bond with the material weakens until it almost disappears. This disconnection has also changed the way we experience the physical world. The nature of objects, their texture, their weight, their history, has become irrelevant compared to their immediate function. Novelty is prioritized over quality, quantity over meaning. We've lost the pleasure of owning something well-made, of using it for years, of feeling its aging as part of its value. The idea of repairing an object instead of replacing it is now a thing of the past. In its place, the industry offers quick fixes. If something stops working, it's not fixed. A new one is bought. This logic doesn't just apply to material goods, it shapes how we see life in general. Manual work is a clear example of how our disconnection from matter has transformed society. For centuries, creating with our hands was a way of relating to the world. Carpentry, pottery, sewing, blacksmithing, these were activities that required patience and mastery. Those who mastered a craft didn't just produce objects, they infused them with their knowledge, their time, their effort. Today, most of these jobs have been relegated to a lower status. Modern education emphasizes intellectual skills, office jobs, careers that unfold on screens and digital documents. Meanwhile, contact with the tangible has slowly been lost. The idea that an object can be more than its immediate utility has been replaced by a purely functional logic. But this mindset doesn't just affect how we treat objects, it also shapes our perception of time. In a world where everything is fast and disposable, where immediacy is the norm, patience has ceased to be a virtue. The experience of spending hours creating something with our hands, of seeing the transformation of matter, of building something that lasts, has become foreign to most people. In its place, we seek instant gratification, immediate access to the new, without stopping to consider the value of what we already have. This distancing also manifests in how we relate to food. Eating, which used to be a meaningful act, has been reduced to a matter of efficiency. Fast food, ultra-processed products, the industrialization of food, all of this has turned an essential act into a mere biological need satisfied as quickly as possible. We've lost the connection to ingredients, to preparation processes, to the experience of cooking and sharing. Everything must be fast, easy, effortless. The result is a disconnection from flavors, from textures, from the pleasure of conscious eating. The same happens with leisure. Instead of activities that require creativity and involve a connection to reality, forms of entertainment have become popular that demand minimal effort. The screen has become the main source of distraction. There is no need to actively engage, to create, to experiment with the physical world. Just observe passively, swipe your finger, and receive one stimulus after another without pause. This kind of entertainment reinforces the same logic that dominates consumption: immediate gratification without commitment, without real connection. Without realizing it, this way of life has created a disturbing paradox. Although we are surrounded by more objects than ever, although we have access to more goods, more information, more entertainment, the sense of emptiness doesn't go away. The reason is simple. Quantity doesn't replace the quality of experience. It doesn't matter how many things we own if none of them truly connect us with the world. It doesn't matter how many distractions we have if none allow us to experience something deep. In this context, it's natural that many people feel a desire to return to the essential, to recover a more authentic connection with matter. It's not about rejecting modernity or idealizing the past, but about rediscovering the importance of things that are well made, of processes that require time, of objects that have a story. It's about revaluing what lasts, what is built with effort, what is consciously chosen instead of imposed by a passing trend. When we observe the world from this perspective, we understand that the problem is not the existence of material goods, but the relationship we've developed with them. Matter is not the enemy. What keeps us from a full life is not having things, but the inability to appreciate them. Reconnecting with the physical world, with the objects that surround us, with the processes that take time and dedication, is a way to recover something that has been lost in the culture of accelerated consumption. It is rediscovering that value does not lie in quantity, but in the quality of the relationship we establish with what we have. This kind of change also impacts the way we experience time. When we're no longer driven by the pressure to consume, life slows down. We regain the ability to pay attention to the details, to fully experience the present without the constant distraction of what's missing. Life stops feeling like an endless race and becomes a series of moments we can appreciate for what they truly are. One of the biggest transformations happens in our relationship with experiences. When the obsession with accumulation fades, space opens up to value the immaterial. Deep conversations, lifelong learning, connection with others. We rediscover the joy of doing things simply for the pleasure of doing them, without needing them to produce a tangible result. Creativity flourishes when it's not limited by the logic of productivity, and leisure stops being an escape and becomes a source of meaning. This kind of life isn't some abstract theory or unreachable ideal. There are many cultures where this way of living is still very much alive, where the relationship with material things is more conscious and balanced. Instead of compulsive consumption, there's a respect for quality, for craftsmanship, and for the time it takes to do things well. In these contexts, objects are not disposable. They're companions through life. They're chosen with care, repaired when needed, and passed down from one generation to the next. This mindset not only reduces waste, it also encourages a more authentic connection with the physical world. The contrast with modern consumer society is clear. While many places prioritize novelty over durability, others value permanence. While mainstream entertainment chases instant distraction, other contexts favor activities that require patience and active participation. This difference isn't random. It reflects a different mentality, one where the purpose of life isn't simply to acquire more, but to experience better. Ultimately, how we choose to live is always in our hands. The consumer system will continue to exist. Advertising will keep selling the illusion of happiness through things, and trends will keep changing at a rapid pace. But each person has the choice to decide whether they want to stay caught in that game or build a life with a different focus. It's not about escaping reality or rejecting everything modern. It's about finding a balance where material things aren't a burden, but a tool for a richer, more meaningful life. By freeing ourselves from the constant pressure to consume and accumulate, we give ourselves the chance to rediscover what truly matters. Life doesn't need to be a race to have more. It can be a conscious process of choosing what actually brings value. By valuing quality over quantity, by reconnecting with the physical world in an authentic way, we can create spaces and moments that truly nourish us. Instead of running from emptiness with unnecessary things, we can learn to fill it with meaningful experiences, genuine relationships, and a deep connection to the world around us. It's a reminder that real wealth isn't found in what we own, but in what we choose to live. Recovering that balance is a way of taking back control of our lives, of bringing meaning back to what truly matters, and of reclaiming the time and energy we've spent on things that add nothing of real depth. That's how we can live more fully, more consciously, and more freely. If this video touched something inside you, I have a small favor to ask. Would you consider liking, commenting, or subscribing to the channel? I know the like button may seem like a small thing, but trust me, it's a powerful tool for connection. In some way, it helps this video reach others who might be looking for this kind of message too.